What's happening, everybody? Welcome to another Over Under. I'm Harry the Greek, your host, with Peter Blake from the Sports Web. He's my co-host tonight. Peter, how are you, buddy?
Doing good, buddy. Getting ready for Super Bowl 56 this weekend. Super Bowl weekend.
Is it this weekend?
It is this weekend, this Sunday. Yeah.
Wow.
What do you think about Super Bowl Saturday instead of Super Bowl Sunday? Because somebody put a petition out there.
Super Bowl Saturday.
Could you imagine that? Like, you at least have a day to recuperate from not having any football. You have Super Bowl Saturday.
No,
you don't like that?
No.
See, Sunday's kind of a bummer, even though Monday's Valentine's Day.
It's called Super Bowl Sunday.
Right, but then you think about it. When that Monday hits, you realize, guess what? There's no more football. See, Saturday, if you have Super Bowl Saturday, then at least you have that whole Sunday to wine in your beer or wine in your wine or whatever you want to do.
I just like wine and beer.
Wine and beer.
If you say beer 3 times,
beer.
Can't do it. Fat Mike will show up.
Fat Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Fat Mike with the fat beers.
He's got the best beer.
He does. Absolutely. I'm not saying he doesn't.
Got a pretty interesting show this evening. We're going to go ahead and break down the game in a few different ways, figure out which way the Greek likes you to go ahead and bet this week. Maybe talk about some proposition bets, which I don't really do too much of, but there are a couple of really good proposition bets.
There always is.
My favorite one is the coin toss.
Yeah? Heads or tails?
Are you kidding me?
It's always tails, right?
Who knows, man? I'm not going to play
Does somebody actually bet on that? I mean, Can you actually bet on that? How much? What's the proposition on that?
True story. This is a really, it's 50-50.
50-50,
yeah,
right.
Right, but you have to lay 110 to win 100. But anyway, true story. When the when the Denver Broncos were playing the Seattle Seahawks in the Super Bowl, there was a proposition bet that
Peyton Manning would have a safety, or there would be a safety in the game.
There would be a safety in the game.
Right. I remember this.
And Jamie hit a $100 wager. I don't want to disclose how much she cashed for, but it was stupid money.
For a safety.
And I'm going, honey, don't waste that money on her. Wow. I'm going to spend $100. Bang.
And she was right.
Yeah. I still hear it to this day.
No wonder you married her.
Hey, to this day, I still hear about that money. You see? Honey. And now I tell her, go ahead and bet him all the time. I have no chance of ever telling her that again, okay? Because seriously, I never make fun of people's wagers. Really? You're going to bet a safety in the first play in the game?
Wow.
It was a safety.
It was.
Somebody
Somebody says $100 on heads. We already got comments coming in. We got 6 comments.
Did you say $100 on head?
$100 on heads.
Oh, heads.
You're a jerk.
I'm not a jerk.
Don't start this again.
You're a jerk.
You're a jerk.
You're a
jerk.
I'd like to give a special shout out to Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy. The guy's hustling his ass off all over the place around Tampa Bay down here.
Yeah, he is.
That's all he does.
We love that guy.
He's on the radio.
I don't care what platform.
Writing,
I love Tampa Bay Ray
writing
Kennedy.
Articles. He just does so much work.
He does,
it's
man.
Just unreal.
He's a hard worker.
I don't know how he balances it out. He's got 20 kids, 3 wives, great house.
He does.
15 jobs.
Amazing.
It's just incredible.
He's like in living color. He's got like several jobs.
Yep. If you have a question or comment for the Greek or Pete, I'm going to go ahead and put the phone line right up here for everybody. Go ahead and post. Just go ahead and give us a call. We'll take it. We love when you disagree with us. But if you have a comment or a question, go ahead and post it. And we're going to go ahead and read it live on the air like we're going to do here in about 5 seconds. And it might even give us a different narrative. Ready for some of the comments?
Absolutely. Love the comments.
This one's really good. This is the StreamYard comment.
Well, that's a good one.
I like it.
Thanks a lot, StreamYard.
Rodgers Shoe says, play that funk, Pete. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's all about family.
It is all about the family.
Facebook user said, is Van Jefferson a decent bet for MVP? I like the odds. You know, I haven't looked what the odds are. So if you don't mind, go ahead and post them. I'd like to know what they are. And I'll tell you if I think it's going to be a good bet for an MVP. But honestly, how often... I don't really see too many receivers. Usually a quarterback or a really good defensive player.
The money's got to be on Matt Stafford at that point. If he's throwing all those passes at that point, he's going over 300 yards. Right. And you also got Odell Beckham, who could have a breakout game because you're doubling and possibly triple teaming on a Cooper Kupp.
Roger Shoe says, we got USFL.
Well, you do.
Roger, I'm still waiting for barbecue.
Yeah, right.
How can I trust anybody who's a Cubs fan?
Well, he's a Cubs fan. He'll call in and sing to you, too.
Roger Shoe says, beer, beer, beer. Hi, Mike. Troy Palomalu says, sleepover Fridays. Oprah voice.
Yeah.
Troy,
you get one. You get one.
Troy,
you get one.
Troy, how you doing, Malaka? You doing okay?
Great job, Troy.
Christian Shanafelt?
I guess that's his name, yes.
Christian's all right guy. Don't laugh at his
I like Christian. No, I was just laughing at the enunciation of it.
It's better than calling him Satan.
Well, that's what you call Troy.
Well, Troy's a Satan. Christian's just the Christian guy. Christian, how you doing? Happy Friday, fellows.
Seriously.
Facebook user says $100 on heads.
That's Adam Slyfield.
I've never paid $100 for it.
Jesus.
Oh, he's talking about the coin flip.
Yes, the coin flip.
Oh,
yes,
geez.
We're trying to stay on topic tonight.
Top or
topic? No, not top. Topic.
You know what that leads to, right, bro?
Oh, geez. You know, with this music, I mean,
oh yeah.
I feel like we got to get like,
oh yeah.
I don't know. Fat Mike's gonna come on here pretty soon.
The man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Ben Cornett. It must be Friday because that's usually when Harry plays with his Peter.
Wow. Thanks a lot, Ben. Very creative, as always.
Is there an adult in the house?
I mean, seriously. Is Ben even adult? Shut up and leave me alone.
I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. Remember that commercial?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not touching you.
Well, we can talk commercials tonight.
We're not talking.
Are commercials overrated in the Super Bowl?
No, man. They're the best things in the world. It's better than the first half of the game because the second half is when they start to play football.
Commercial last year that you watched. Right, exactly. Your silence speaks volumes.
Hold on.
Yes.
Stop, man.
Yes.
Hold on.
Yes. Yeah.
You're asking. I'm 55, bro.
Okay. You said commercials.
The
not
Dorito
overrated.
commercial was great.
From last year?
Yes.
Okay.
I love the Dorito.
Besides
commercial.
that, anything else that's
yes, the internet, the website thing, the GoDaddy.
Well, how many years ago was that? Wasn't last year, was it?
There was a GoDaddy commercial last year.
Okay. I'm just saying. I think they have they've slacked on the commercials.
I think I'm going to have my wife come in here and slap the shit out of you.
I don't think she's going to. Why would you do that?
Anybody want to take wager on that?
You know what? Why? I'm ready. I'm ready to walk off.
No, you can't walk.
I'm walking off.
Yeah.
Screw you.
Should we do this 100?
Listen to this. Here.
This 100.
Here.
This 100. You
Yeah.
want to keep going?
Here, you just give it to me. Here, give me the money. Give me that. Give me.
Show you
give me
some
that
money. Stay away from my money. Oh my God.
No, the point is commercials are overrated during the Super Bowl. You know why? Because they play them, it seems like all year round. So there's really no suspense to it. We always see commercials all the time. I think they've dropped the ball. That's what I'm saying.
Oh boy. We got our first caller coming in.
Oh God, this guy. Just started off. You love this guy, don't you? Even though he's a Cubs fan.
I absolutely love this guy. We're going to be playing that funk.
Oh, geez. Okay. Go ahead, Rodgers shoe.
Harry, what's going on, man?
Not much, brother. How are you? Welcome to the
I'm
Quiet
good,
Storm.
Peter. I know how you are. I don't really care.
Well, screw you too. I don't care about you either.
Roger, how you
I'm
doing,
gonna hang
buddy?
up on you.
How's
How about that?
how's my buddy from Chicago doing, brother?
I'm good, man. So, question: should I take the over or under on the Bengals?
There you go. Over or under on the Bengals.
You know, I got to tell you, man, that's a really good question. A lot of people have been asking me that.
Are you going to make me wait till the end of the show?
No, I promise you I won't. And I'm going to tell you why I'm not going to make you wait to the end of the show. I think it's a sucker bet. I listen. Why is the line only -4? It hasn't moved. Okay. And I honestly feel, and everybody's going to know exactly where my position is in this game. This game could get as ugly as it did when the Bengals played the 49ers 30 plus years ago.
Wow.
It's not a question on whether or not the Rams can stop Joe Burrow in that high potent offense. The question is whether or not that porous defense for the Cincinnati Bengals can stop the high-powered offense of the LA Rams. That's the question. So why is the total only 48.5? I'll tell you why. Because in my opinion, this game's going to be a blowout. I don't even have the Bengals scoring 10 points in this game.
Wow.
That's why.
Wow.
He said it, Bengal fans, not me.
That's why I think the game will go under. I'm not making a bet in that position. I'm giving it out right now. I absolutely love the Rams -4. Ladies and gentlemen,
Lay the wood.
lay the wood, mortgage the house, shove it in, not in like a poker game with not one hand, but both hands. And just in case you're missing a few chips, put your feet on the table and push everything into the middle. I'm not kidding you.
So no chance for Cincinnati in this game to keep it even close.
No. If
Joe Burrow,
Matthew Stafford gets hurt, they still win.
I don't know about that.
No, I'm telling you.
Wow.
Listen, this is not Kansas City's defense, which was pretty good, or Tennessee's defense, which was better.
Sure.
This is Von Miller that looked like he was playing 10 years ago. Okay. This is the best defensive lineman and Aaron Donald and Leonard Floyd. I mean, some guy named Ramsey in back there. I mean, what are you, nuts? I mean, seriously.
Well, I think that's the matchup you're looking at right there.
I'm telling you right now, the Rams are going to come out and score quick and early, and the running game is going to be gone for Cincinnati. You think he got hit in that Tennessee game? Son, you guys have no idea what's going to happen, especially if the Rams get up early and they have to abandon that run game. What are you going to do? Keep everybody blocking for Burrow? You're not going to even have a receiver? Because that's what they're going to need.
Oh, yeah. You're going to have to go max protector. You're going to definitely have to keep the pressure off of Joe Burrow. And if you can do that, then he can make some special things happen. But you're exactly right. Aaron Donald, Von Miller, of course, Leonard Floyd. That's the story at that point. Can they get to him? If they can.
Can you get to him? Peter.
If they can.
That offensive line was the second worst in football next to the Bears.
I agree. But they're still in the Super Bowl for a reason.
Oh, by the way, the Chicago Bears beat the Bengals. So I'm just saying.
Oh, of course. Of course you're going to put that.
I still wish we had Leonard Floyd on the Bears.
Why? No. Tell me why. Because he was so good for us? You know why Leonard Floyd is not as good as what people think he is. Okay? You want to talk about a better defensive end or a better outside linebacker? I'm going to tell you one right now. His name is Robert Quinn. He did it the entire year. He did that entire year without Khalil Mack. Leonard Floyd couldn't get it done with Khalil Mack back there. Robert Quinn did. Okay.
You got a point. Hey, one quick question, Harry. What's your thoughts on keeping or letting go Roquan Smith?
Letting him go?
Why?
Why would you let him go for?
Because these pundits out there got the silly ass stupid idea that the Chicago Bears are going to be getting rid of Khalil Mack And
So let me get
and
this
who
straight. You're
else?
going to
To
get
go out
rid
and
of
go-
one of your best defensive players for a first round pick.
They're best defensive players,
Right.
Because you're going to get multiple picks. No,
Oh,
my idea of it.
Chicago media all week long. Roquan and Khalil are gone.
Yeah, they're gone. They're not going anywhere. Okay, I'm going to give you money on. Anybody want to take action on that? That the both of them are going to be gone together?
I agree. Well, you said it, so I'm going to believe it.
Anybody want to take that?
Why would they say that?
If
Why
there's
would you
one
put
person that
out there?
believes it or is putting it out, because they're morons.
Well, is that the cap implications?
Listen, they have plenty of cap space on this team.
Right.
Do I see them possibly getting rid of Khalil Mack?
Yes.
Absolutely.
I think you can do that.
Only if they're going to get draft capital back from. Sorry, that's the only
Well,
way
you
they're going
only
to do it.
get at least a
Okay,
first.
Akeem Hicks,
Right.
he's not even gone yet, but he should go. He
Right.
really should.
Right.
It's
It's all
time.
speculation at
Right.
this point, but
Eddie
I get what.
Goldman. Eddie Goldman's still young. He's got no mileage on the wheels.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he didn't play that well last year, but the more games he played, the better he got back in the shape. Look, man, this team's going to be just fine. But as far as Roquan Smith leaving, no. While you're at it, why don't you go ahead and trade Justin Fields and Roquan Smith and Khalil Mack, send them to Seattle, and just go get yourself a Russell Wilson. Oh, and give up a couple more number ones.
We play Madden now? Is that what we're playing?
I have no idea.
We're going to play Madden? Because that's what it sounds like to me.
I saw a thing earlier today online that Russell Wilson may be going to the Eagles. What do you think?
You know what? A lot of people have been talking about that as well. Russell Wilson, they have him earmarked to the Appalachian State Centipedes. Or they got him going back to the USFL.
Be quiet.
And,
Russell Wilson to Appalachian.
And Jim McMahon's coming back out of retirement. And hold on, Tom Brady.
Well, he talked about this week. He said
they're making a straight trade. He's going to go to the Houston Texans.
Oh, shut up. Listen, Russell Wilson makes sense to go to the Eagles because they have the draft capital. They have multiple first-round picks. They may not necessarily believe.
So what is that young man?
Hurts.
What has that young man Jalen Hurts did wrong this year? Oh, I don't know. Won 7 straight games in a row.
It's not good enough for him because they saw how he played in the playoff game, and I'm not disagreeing with you.
I'll give anybody 2-1 on their money right now. Go ahead and direct message me in here.
The reason why
it doesn't go there.
The reason why it makes sense for the Eagles to be put into that scenario is because they have multiple first-round picks, and on top of it, they can provide a young quarterback for Seattle to rebuild. Because if you get rid of a Russell Wilson at that point, you're rebuilding, and then Russell Wilson goes to the Eagles, and they feel like they're only a quarterback away. And then the Tom Brady stuff. Look, he said that himself. He said, "Never say never."
Of course, he's not. Michael Jordan did the same crap. Okay, he's done. Get over it. He's not coming back.
One last question.
Never say never.
You guys go.
Bro,
Yes.
you don't have to let me go.
What's
Hang
your
on.
thinking on the direction of Aaron Rodgers? Is he coming back to Green Bay or is he gone?
Did you have to bring up that name?
Yeah, you had to. He had to.
You had to bring it up.
Yeah.
I feel like we should
Aaron-
just hang up on
I
him.
can't stand the ground he
Aaron
walks on.
Rodgers. Hang on. If you say it 3 times, I might smell him all the way from Green Bay.
Jeez, man.
Another,
Stop the
You smell
hatred.
cheese,
another turd sandwich.
He won the MVP last night. Didn't you think he deserved
which
it?
is horseshit.
Absolutely. He should have
Yes.
won the MVP.
And he's on the couch again. He's not even in the Super Bowl
I
again.
know.
I mean, that's what it tells you about MVP in the NFL.
You want to know something?
Yes.
You know who deserved the
Jokes in
MVP
the
before him?
playoffs.
Tom Brady.
Not. Come on, that's the obvious.
Well, I mean, it's an
I'm
easy
gonna-
thing.
I'm gonna
I mean,
name-
44-year-old
I'm
quarterback.
going to name 2 quarterbacks
Right.
other than Tom Brady that should have been the MVP over Aaron Rodgers. One's name is Joe Burrow, and the other one's Matthew Stafford. I wonder why that is.
The media.
No. I wonder why I feel that way. Oh,
Because they're both in the Super Bowl?
there you go.
Well, Cooper Kupp. How about Cooper Kupp?
They haven't given it to wide receiver since Bethuseda's died.
But did he not have a phenomenal this year to be recognized as the MVP of the league?
I think if Chris Godwin would have stayed healthy the entire league, you could have been putting him in the same equation.
98 receptions, but Cooper Kupp in some of these categories is amazing. That's what I'm saying.
You know,
So-
I could have talked about giving it to the run game for the Tennessee Titans, the entire running backs to the Titans who ran for 1,000 yards without Derrick Henry.
All right,
Right.
Peter. I got one last dig for you, Peter Blake.
All right, dig
I
it.
All
love the
right,
digs.
your boy Rondé Barber snubbed by the Hall of Fame again. Why?
I don't know. I think basically he's not one of those guys that's going to be a cover man-on-man corner. He's not flashy, but if you look at the statistics, 47 interceptions, 28 sacks. absolutely solidified himself. One of the greatest plays in postseason history, in my opinion.
Obviously not.
Well,
No.
he'll eventually get in, but he absolutely revolutionized the nickel position. There was no nickel position. He did not only a good cover corner and also played in that Tampa 2, but also stopped the run. And they have a percentage out there, a stat that he stopped the run as much as Warren Sapp. So I don't understand what the Hall of Fame's problem is.
Stop.
What?
I
So
agree,
Leroy
Ron.
Butler's better?
No. Rondé Barber should be in the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
But when silliness, pardon me, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful here, but that was silly for you to say he stopped the run just as much as Warren Sapp. No.
There's a percentage out there. There's a statistic. You have to look this up.
There's also a percentage that says I'm going to get up just as many times as you're going to get up tomorrow morning out of bed.
Look, you can go ahead and say that, but at the end of the day, corners in that Tampa 2 defense were called on to stop the run, and he did it. One of the best. He was one of the best players in NFL history to do it, and he's not getting recognized.
He's a great player, but I have a question for you.
Right.
Who should be there? Charles Tillman or Rondé Barber?
Both.
Roger.
Both.
Peanut.
Both.
I'd love to hear the comments on that one. I'd say both too. I'm going to tell you something. Rondé Barber was one of the best that I've ever seen play that
Yes,
position.
He was.
And you know what the whole scenario
that
is?
was my question.
Do you know
Why?
the reason?
What's keeping him from getting
The
Let Roger
reason
talk.
is-
Let Roger talk.
I don't need to listen to him talk. He wants to hear me talk. He called the show to listen to both of us talk. Let me tell you
No,
something.
I called to listen to Harry.
Well, then you
See?
go listen to yourself because I'll hang up on you if you keep it up. Now, don't mess with me right now. Listen, the reason why he's not.
What is the reason why Ronnie's not in?
If you stop.
I mean, obviously he has the numbers.
I mean, you're like the wife I never had or the girlfriend I never have. You keep on cutting me off.
That's
Now,
all
you
right.
still
My
don't
wife
have-
reminds you
well,
of that.
that's the reason. Huh?
My wife reminded you of that
What's that?
about not being married.
Well, I'm glad if I had somebody like that was talking over me all the time. Now, shut the hell up. Let me talk. All right. The reason why he's not in the Hall of Fame is because he's played around great players, because he's in a system. Joe Montana played in the system. It's called the West Coast offense. Did that stop him from getting into the Hall of Fame?
No.
How asinine is that? It's asinine that he's not in the Hall of Fame. That's the point. You went at the top of your position
Listen.
during the era you should be in. Period.
A lot of the sexy positions, and it's a known fact that
Sure.
they just don't get into the Hall of Fame. It's just not
Well,
fair.
it's more skilled players that get in. It's not the blockers. It's not guys like safeties and corners and stuff like that. They'd rather have Deion Sanders in, which look, he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. But is he a good tackler as Rondé Barber? No, absolutely not.
Nope.
Come on.
Maybe it was Ronde's steroid use.
There is no steroid use. You know what? I'm ready to
That
hang
was
up
bad.
on this. Get him out of
Roger,
here.
thank you so much
Go
for
away.
calling in. Say go Bears, buddy.
Have a good night.
Somebody
you guys.
saying stop frustrating
Talk to you
Peter.
soon.
Stop
Thanks for
frustrating
calling in.
Bears.
Come on, I'm not frustrated. I
No.
like to give it to Roger because
No, we're
he's
still
athletic.
playing.
Yeah,
We're still playing some of the funk. I'm going to go ahead and read
Yes.
some of the comments.
please.
Ben Cornett, I love this one. It must be Friday because that's usually when Harry plays with us, Peter.
Jeez, thanks. I
Love
appreciate
you.
it, Ben.
Roger Shoe says I'd give 100 for head. Of course you would. What a sick man. Roger, I mean heads. Troy Palomalu says, what time is your Super Bowl party going to start, Harry? Drop your home address on the comments.
Right, when you call in, Troy Polamalu, King Troy, Trojan Legend, we'll go ahead and let you know the address.
No,
Okay?
seriously, I'll DM you, Troy. You're
Yeah.
more than welcome to come over and watch the game. I'd love it.
Yeah,
I
sure.
really would. Facebook user 10,000. Which? Oh my God, what was that?
Plus 100,000 or
No, it's
plus
plus
10,000?
10,000.
Plus 10,000?
That's for what's his name to be the MVP. You're not for the MVP. Yeah,
Oh,
you know what?
wow.
I got to tell you, man. I'd have to lay an ace on that. An
Wow.
ace is $100. I would for that. Absolutely.
It's possible.
What stops
but-
him from? Let's just say he scores 3 touchdowns in a game. Why not give it to him?
Because Matt Stafford is throwing in the ball. We know
Correct.
how quarterback centric it is and the league is, especially the Super Bowl.
Troy Polamalu says, "I'm bringing cannolis and red wine."
Great. Awesome.
Roger Shoe says, "Should I take the under or over on the Bengals?" No comment. Christian, is this feeling the Ducks my favorite?
Yes, it is. It is feeding the Ducks.
my
Yes,
favorite.
it is. You must have StreamYard.
He does have StreamYard.
Well, that's good. See, there you go. Feeding the Ducks.
I love feeding the Ducks.
I bet you do.
Christopher Cole, Chris, what's up, little brother? Thank you so much for tuning into the over
Love
under.
Chris Cole.
What did I tune into? LOL.
That's what we always ask ourselves on Friday. No
Chris?
idea.
Get ready, brother. Peter and I are coming to pick you up next weekend. We're going to go hit a couple of clubs. Mons 2001, probably even the Pink Pony.
Oh, you're paying.
Bro, when I go into a place, you don't even hear the money laying around because it's floating around. Peter walks in, you hear clang, 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 clang. The girls are going, here, you get a hello from me.
Shut up.
I walk into a
Be
club.
quiet.
Shit.
You're an idiot.
I know I am. Christian, who the hell is the Rams' backup quarterback? That's a great question.
Who is the back? I don't have any idea who the backup quarterback for the Rams is. That's a terrible thing.
That is a terrible thing.
How do we not know that? Who's the backup quarterback for the Bengals?
Well, you know what they say.
What's
the
that?
mind be a terrible thing.
To waste?
Yep.
Okay. Well,
You know, I got a good story for people.
sure.
I have this.
Tell me a story, Grandpa.
A lot of people know, Grandpa. A lot of people know that I manage probably one of the largest automotive repair facilities around.
Right.
And I have this one particular customer. God bless her. She's what a sweet lady. Recently, she lost her husband.
Oh.
And it was really unexpected. Really good customers, and I've always tried to help them out and take care of them. And, you know, since he's died, she's come by the shop. She's kind of lonely. She brings over food and candies, and her favorite day is Sweetest Day, and I guess that's
Aw.
Valentine's Day. So she's bringing a whole bunch of chocolates, and she brings
It's
fruit.
Monday this year, by the way. You ready for that? To start the week, it's
No, but
Valentine's
This is actually
Day.
a pretty cool story.
Okay.
She says, I don't know, but I was cleaning out the house, Harry, and I know you do this sports show, and I thought you might like to have this. I don't know what it is. It's just a football jersey. It's an autograph signed Hall of Fame Earl Campbell
No.
jersey.
No way.
Yes,
Earl Campbell?
Earl
Oh,
Campbell.
that lady is a sugar mama right there.
And numbered.
Oh,
And she says, I says, are you sure you want to give this to me?
what a nice lady.
She's like, who's the Campbell guy? He's the Campbell soup. It's like, yeah, sure was. I put it in the bag.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
She's
No.
sweet. She's sweet to you.
She's so nice. Man.
That's nice. That's
she's
cool.
so sweet.
That's a great story. I enjoyed that.
Troy Polamalu says Sam Bradford. Troy Polamalu says the three kings, Joe Namath, Joe Montana, and Joe Burrow. You could be right. Let me tell you something. Joe Burrow is the real deal. Not this Sunday, though.
No.
Harold, anybody who calls Harold,
He says Harold.
that's got to be Tom Banner.
It is Tom Banner,
That's my boy.
a.k.a. Bruce Banner. Don't make him mad. He'll turn
Harold
into
has
the
a
Hulk.
vendetta against the Bengals. LOL. They beat his best bet of the week against Baltimore. I do remember that. So do you. Thanks for
Uh-oh.
bringing that up. That was one of only the 14 losses that I had.
That's like picking a scab, right? Keep on digging at that scab. That's what he just did to you.
Bro, it's okay, man.
Yeah, I know it's okay.
It's Tom Banner.
Were you sleeping on your money while you were?
Troy Polamalu says, first off, talking about money,
Yeah, money. You have it.
I have some.
No,
okay?
I'm saying you
But
do.
Tom Banner,
Yeah.
that brother, let me tell you right now,
Yeah.
he will forget more about making money than I'll ever learn.
Wow.
Okay?
That good, huh?
No, you have no clue.
Well, get him on the show. What are we
not
doing?
Not with gambling. That's what he comes to me for. That man
Oh.
that man touches something, all of a sudden it just turns into thousands.
Well,
I
anybody,
kid you not.
You know, why not? Go ahead, get him on
He's
the
got
show.
a great wife, absolutely gorgeous, great people, great family, love his mother, just really, really, really good people.
Good.
We love you, Tom Banner.
Good stuff,
Even
man.
though you bust my balls.
Yeah, that's all right.
Ben Cornett says Eagles do have 3 first-round picks in this draft. Just saying.
See, there you go.
You know what? You might have a point there. I don't think they're going to give it up for Russell Wilson. If they did, they're stupid.
Deshaun Watson, they were looking at by
Could
the way,
happen.
too. Yeah.
Chris Cole says hurts to the Bucks. No.
Nah, I don't see that.
Ben Cornett says Aaron Rodgers MVP, most valuable prick.
Wow, that's accurate.
You know
That's
what?
really good.
Ben, you just got the comment of the night.
Yeah, that was a good one. Good job, Ben.
Facebook user. Oh, that's Mike Hughes.
Harry's looking good, man. Mike Hughes, there you go.
What's up,
Good
Mike?
stuff.
My brother. He's got a great show. Talks about everything. Let me tell you something. This cat knows everything and anything about basketball.
Really?
It's just
I
unbelievable.
wonder what he thinks about the trade that happened this week. James Harden to Philadelphia.
Mike, if you're out there, do me a favor.
Ben Simmons.
Come, not in a weird way, but come through my back door and get on here, okay? Seriously, I do want to hear about that trade.
Yes, big trade. Ben Simmons goes to the Nets. I mean, I wonder if that makes
Don't
the
laugh.
Nets
He's
better.
a good-looking guy anyway.
I'm not laughing. I'm just saying. You always have to go to the gutter, don't you?
What? I just said come through my back door. What's so bad about that? Mike, just log on to StreamYard. Seriously, bro. You know what? You're horrible. I can't believe
Dude, you play this music, man. That's where it all starts.
You know what? I'm just gonna send Mike my.
You did it on purpose.
You're horrible. All I said was to come in my back door. Look at this poor guy's gutter mind. Christian says the voting for the NFL awards, MVP, OPOV, DPOY, etc., ends after the regular season. What happens in the playoff isn't accounted for.
Very true. That's absolutely true. And maybe they should change the voting, but I doubt it. They're going to continue
MVP,
to do that.
most valuable player. OPOY, offensive player of the year.
Yep.
DP, defensive player of the year. Hey, I get to sit back in front of the class.
There you go.
I thought he was talking like a bank, like CNBC Bank. You know.
Yeah.
53rd Bank.
Right. Exactly.
All I know, it's Friday night.
Yes. And it's Super Bowl weekend. And you're playing this damn music.
And I like it.
I know you do.
If anybody doesn't like it, tell me to turn it off and I will.
Please do.
Otherwise,
turn it off.
Otherwise it drives him nuts.
Damn you guys.
Facebook user says Hall of Fame snub on Hester is a effing joke.
Well,
you know what?
Yes.
I'm going to do something here, guys.
That was a great subject, by the way.
You know, about a year ago, and I have to say it was about a year ago. I think you guys
It was
were at
a year
place.
ago.
It was Big Poppy was holding an event.
Celebrity golf. Yes.
Celebrity golf event here
Yes.
locally in the Tampa Bay area. And they had quite a few stars in there. And they had Devin Hester. But you know what? I'm going to have to take this phone call. We got someone calling live on the air. Stand by. How you doing, caller? Thanks for calling the Over Under. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Ben Cornett, Harry.
Oh, Ben. Benny and the Jets.
What's up, Ben? From Las Vegas.
How you doing? How you doing, fellas?
I'm doing good.
What's happening, man? Are you enjoying the Friday slumber party?
Yeah, so far we're getting a lot of giggling out of Peter, so that's a good sign.
I love when Peter giggles.
Well, I like to laugh, you know.
Or gurgles.
It's girl. You know what? Really, seriously, and then you
Ben,
play the music.
Ben, tell me you like the funk, bro.
Jeez. Yeah,
What do you think,
exactly.
Ben? What do you
He's
think?
laughing. No, he doesn't.
All right, I just eliminated. How you doing, Ben? What's on your mind, brother?
Oh God.
Oh man, I'm gonna go against you, Harry. I think the Bengals are gonna pull this off.
Wow!
I'm
Upset
I
Central.
just got a feeling.
Okay, you got a feeling. That's
Bro,
not gas now,
Let me tell you
right?
something. 17 weeks in the National Football
Yeah.
League. It'll be only the 15th time that I made an incorrect pick this year. But you know what? You can look at it two different ways. Either A, I'm super hot and you want to jump on my coattails, or you can say, you know what? He's due to lose. And I get it. And look, let me tell you something. In the back of my mind, I'm rooting for the Bengals, but my wallet's telling me I just can't do it, man.
Right.
I
You
know
can't
what I'm
bet with
seeing.
your heart. You've always
let me-
talked about this.
You know, Ben, I understand why you see this.
Okay,
But let me explain something to you.
go ahead.
That offensive line is atrocious, bro. It's just
I agree.
absolutely atrocious. How in the world are they going to account for that defensive line in the front seven for the Rams? I don't have a clue. They're not even going to have to blitz. They are going to stunt their front four, and they are going to generate so much pressure on Joe Burrow. What's going to happen when they send a safety or a linebacker in?
Right, you're making some good points, Harry, but I just get this feeling about Joe Burrow. You know, it's one of those things you don't know quite sure what it is, but you just get this feeling that Joe's going to overcome this.
Well, he's done it throughout
My
his
opinion.
career, right? I mean, he did it in college football, winning a
remember
national championship.
You see, Ben's old enough to remember this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there was a song in the 70s that says, I just can't fight this feeling. You know, and I understand where you're coming from on this. Look, my money's telling me to bet on the Rams, because I can only I can only handicap what the good Lord gives me with the two eyes.
Sure.
But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm rooting for the Bengals, but not to the point that I really want to lose. I just don't see how it's going to happen. Hey, Ben, I want you to hold on just for a second. Don't go anywhere.
Okay.
I got someone that's sitting in my back door. I want to go ahead and bring him in.
Oh,
Okay.
scary.
The good-looking man himself. The room just got smarter, Mr. Michael Hughes from Mike on the Mic. Mike, how you doing this evening, sir?
Man, I'm doing well, man. I'm Harry. It's always a pleasure being on your show. I'm looking at the Bulls right now. We didn't make any trades at the deadline, so I'm just kind of hanging in there day by day.
I understand. Hey, what's the score in the bowl game tonight?
I was just looking at it, actually. I missed it. I'm 10 minutes back. Right now they're playing Minnesota 80-79. Bulls are up.
We're only up by one, and how many injuries are they still suffering with?
About 4 or 5.
Four or 5 injuries, and they're still winning. Pretty good team, but it's all for naught. In my opinion, the Philadelphia 76ers, they're going to crush everybody.
I don't think so.
Oh,
I think the
God.
Nets are going to be good. I also think the Milwaukee Bucks will have something to say about it. What do you say here, Mike?
You know, here's where I piss everybody off. I don't think it's either of them. I don't think it's the Nets. I don't think it's Philly. I don't think it's the Bucks. I think the Miami Heat are still someone to seriously look
Great
at right
point.
now. To me, they are built for the playoffs. What people aren't going to anticipate is PJ Tucker. You know, PJ Tucker on a stat line makes you want to kill yourself because he's putting up 2 points in 35 minutes. Just if you look at it from a stat perspective, you know, you're going to ask, did this guy just run around holding his junk for 35 minutes? But in all actuality, the guy is playing immense defense. He is playing a huge role. Kyle Lowry.
When you were talking, when you said the word junk, were you referring to stuff that's in the trunk of his car or his junk?
Either, because it 2 points is 2 points, Harry, at the end of the day. But what he brings to a team and what I truly feel like made them fail when they were a young core, especially in the finals in 2020, it was something to where Jimmy Butler was something he didn't have to be or what he shouldn't be, and that's the floor general. Kyle Lowry's there now. Kyle Lowry can be that. Jimmy Butler can just go back to being his game. We all saw Jimmy Butler when AD and LeBron were giving him the work. Jimmy's my guy, so it hurt. It hurt to see Jimmy like that, but he was exhausted.
I love Jimmy Buckets.
Right. He's playing 45 minutes, though, with a bunch of rookies. He was going through it, going through the motion, and he was exhausted. Now you have Kyle, you have PJ, you have Bam, Tyler, and Duncan Robinson off the bench. I don't think anybody can top that. And I definitely do think that Miami's someone to seriously take as a threat.
All right, let me go back to the trade here. Who do you think won it? Was it Philly with getting Harden and, of course, pairing him with Embiid, or the other way, Nets getting Simmons, still a young player, needs to develop his jump shot, but still pretty good defender there. They also get Seth Curry, you get Drummond and 2 first-round picks. It looks like the Nets absolutely pillaged and won this trade over the 76ers.
Before you answer that, Ben, do you have an opinion on that trade, and who do you think won it?
In my opinion, I got to go with the Nets on this, especially long term, because they got 2 first-round picks. They may trade those anyway, but they also got Seth Curry who can shoot the ball. They need a shooter, and Ben Simmons now. There's no pressure, so he should be able to be the defensive player that Brooklyn desperately needs.
Well, who has the better season this year? Is it going to be the Nets or Philadelphia? I'm not talking long term. Who won it for this year?
I still think it's the Nets because I still think Kyrie Irving's going to come back. With the Sixers, I get it. Harden is going to definitely improve the offense with Joel Embiid.
There's the reason why they win the East. It's because of him.
Yeah, but they can't stay healthy. Embiid and Harden both can't stay healthy, especially Harden. And then on top of it, the reason why Harden wanted the trade in the first place, he wants separation. He wants some spacing on that team. Philly doesn't have great spacing either. So to me, the Nets are set up here. And of course, you get Durant going, you get Irving back, you have Simmons, you develop his game. Even if you don't develop his game, he's still defensively very sound. You get Curry also as a long shooter, a guy that can shoot the perimeter shot, and then of course Drummond in the middle. I like the trade a lot.
What's your feelings on him, Mike? Give me a 1 minute dissertation.
Yeah, to be completely real, Philly won it by a mile because you have to take Ben out of the situation. Ben was gone before this trade even happened. So essentially what you gave up was a first-round pick, Seth Curry, who's 31, and probably the third best Curry in that family. It's Steph, and then Steph's father, then Seth. And then you're looking at Andre Drummond, who's just a journeyman. So essentially, you have to take out Ben Simmons from that piece. And obviously, it's a good piece that they acquired. The Ben Simmons slander is ridiculous. Ben Simmons is going to thrive with the Nets, I truly feel like, at least when Kyrie's there, because he doesn't have to space the floor. He doesn't have to be what he's not, what he doesn't want to be. He can just be what he wants to be. But essentially, for Philly, you really just gave up Seth Curry and Andre Drummond for a generational talent and James Harden. Healthy or not, it's a generational talent. Now, I'll say this. The problem was they wanted Thibault or they wanted Maxey. If they would have traded Maxey or Thibault with Simmons, I think the Nets win by a mile. But the reality of the situation is you're in a room right now where Kyrie, first of all, is part-time. And then Kevin Durant, you know how he feels with his emotions, and Ben Simmons with his emotions. If I'm Joe Harris or I'm anybody else in that room, I'm afraid to even tell them that I like their haircut because I don't know how anybody's going to react to anything. Kyrie might flip out. KD might request a trade. Ben Simmons might not show up and do his little video games on StreamYard. I have no idea how I feel about that. There's a lot of emotions in that locker room. So I'm really curious to see how that chemistry builds.
Yeah, I just don't think Harden can stay healthy. I mean, honestly, consistently, he hasn't made an impact, and that's why I think the Nets won the trade. And honestly, it's nice to say you compare him with, Embiid, but if you can't stay healthy, and look, he may be a generational talent, but defensively, he's horrible. He's absolutely atrocious.
I still think that the Chicago Bulls are going to make a splash in the East. I really do. They're still a big man away, and I love Vooch. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, without
okay. But this team, when they get healthy, it's going to be a very competitive Eastern Conference Finals. And it's very refreshing. Am I saying they're the best? No. America, I am not saying they're the best. But I'm really proud of what the Chicago Bulls team has been able to put together in the course of 1 year just to put this team together. Can you imagine how good this team's going to be in the next 2 or 3 years? If they can draft correctly, all they need to do is get the mentality from Ryan Pace and put it on here, and it'll just destroy it again. But anyway, that's for another conversation. It was a little joke.
No, but Harry, I do agree with you. And I will say, though, I think they are the best team in the East when you look at it from top to bottom. The only person, and I agree with you, they need a big man. I love Vooch, and I've been very critical on him this year, but he's really in the second half has just been, shouldn't say second half, but second half of the first half has done very well. He's averaging a double-double in every single game pretty much except for 2 in the second half of this half. And you look at it, I truly believe they buy out and potentially have a reunion with Robin Lopez. That's personally who I want to return.
That would be perfect. Perfect. But you know who I really wish? You know who I wish? He would have been, I really wish they would find a player very similar. Please, America, don't shoot me for saying this, to a Dennis Rodman. Someone that's not going to be so offensive-minded. Someone who's going to want to play the paint. He was undersized, but he played with a motor that was 24/7. He just wore your ass out. He took every big man in the NBA and nullified him.
Well, he frustrated him.
Did you see what he used to do to Shaq?
Yes, of course.
I mean, seriously, Shaq in his prime?
Of course, yes.
Come on, man.
When they got Rodman and that Magic team won 60 games, and in the first round they had to play the Bulls, I believe it was the second round, and the Bulls won 72 that year. And there was no match at that point. The Bulls absolutely frustrated Shaq.
What I'm saying is if the Chicago Bulls had a defensive-minded center. Forget about the offensive.
But the problem is with that, there's not a lot of defenders like that. Defense is very, very inconsequential when it comes to the NBA these days.
Especially the teams in the West. They play that real up-tempo game.
Sure.
Correct? Okay. But the whole NBA has gone that way. They still utilize a big man. And trust me when I tell you.
Is a rim protector. I agree.
Right. If you can turn around and get an easy 2, and it's underneath there, you're taking that game out of there. So once you take that high percentage shot away, you are now forcing an outside perimeter. You don't have to double team on the inside when you had a defensive-minded center there.
Yeah.
Now you were able to play the perimeters a little bit more, which now you can start playing defense. But the problem is there are no more defensive big guys.
They're not.
There's
there's the guys, they want to be stretched.
Unless there is. Hold on, Mike. Is there any big defensive guys out there, centers?
I would say Rudy Gobert is out there. Bam Adebayo is really good. The difference between the two is that Rudy doesn't really create his own shot. I think Bam can create his own shot, and I think that's why Bam has a lot more success. But to your point, it's not to where it was in the 90s to where, they're completely altering what an offense is trying to do.
No, but you understand where I'm coming from. If they had a little more of a defensive let me tell you something. There's no team in the East that has, in my opinion, a real defensive center. You put one out there?
I don't think they need it. You have Lonzo, you have Patrick Williams, you have Ayo Dosunmu, you have a bunch of guys. Alex Caruso.
Love that kid Dosunmu. What a steal in the draft.
That's my guy, but same graduation class. But it's something to where we look at it and you really don't need a big that's playing defense. You just need a big that's getting boards. And that's really just all they need right now.
Yeah, that's true.
Rim protector. That's what you need.
But I tell you what, but a good defender really slows the game down.
I agree. I agree. But I think defense has been taken out of the game.
You know what?
As a whole.
The Super Bowl is right around the corner, and I'm going to spend a few minutes talking about the NBA. And this is where I like to compare a lot of the teams from the 90s versus now. Just forget about Scottie Pippen and everybody else. Let's take some of the bad boys from the Detroit Pistons. Let them play on a team. Let them play a Golden State Warriors or a Phoenix Suns or a real high-powered offensive team. And the thing is, if they actually let them play basketball, there's not 120-point games, guys. You're talking about 80 and 85 points as a max.
Yep.
You want to know how frustrated a Steph Curry would be having – let's go back to the Bulls. How about – you know what? Let's put Scottie Pippen on a Steph Curry. Seriously. He's going to drain one or two threes, and then all of a sudden you got someone like Scottie Pippen that's going to sit on him like a fly.
Yep.
I mean, and you're just not getting around them.
Right.
You see, that's why the NBA doesn't have that luster with me like it did from before. Everybody loves to see 250 points combined score.
They've tried to go like the NFL, if you will, score as many points as possible. Right. That's what's going to draw ratings. But at the end of the day, NFL still has defense. They still have that aspect to it. They still have the component. The NBA doesn't have that.
Mike, if they brought back a real defensive team, how do you think it would fare?
I think Golden State is the one team that doesn't get affected by that. And I think when you talk about the bad boys, you look at how they took Jordan out of the air. You look at how they would take people out of the air, especially in the paint. But you never really saw how they could do that and manipulate that from the three. And when you have Clay, when you have Curry, when you have, let's even say KD at the time, they'll just drain threes on these guys' heads all day. They weren't really anything special outside.
That's a great point. And I'm glad you mentioned it. And I'm going to tell you why. You may be raining threes in the first couple of quarters, but by the time the third quarter came around, your legs weren't even underneath you. And what do you need more than anything to shoot a three? Right.
No, for sure. And I completely agree with that. But I'm going to say this. By that third quarter, with those three guys against Isaiah Thomas and Dennis Rodman, and hell, we can name every other guy on that list, but they're not really
Joe Dumars.
Right. But the reality of the situation, let's be real about it. They're probably up by 60 in the third. So as long as they
it ain't going to be that, but no, bro, seriously.
60.
Bro, there is not a team.
60?
You know what? I'm going to go ahead and say this right now. And I'm not saying this because I'm old school. There ain't a team after 2005 that could have played with any of those teams, from the San Antonio Spurs to the Chicago Bulls to the Knicks to the Detroit Pistons. They wouldn't have lasted in a 7-game series. You might win one. I think
the bad boys would fare a bad shake against Golden State. The Bulls, I don't think so. I don't think it'd be the same conversation in the 90s Bulls, or even when you look at the Utah Jazz or anything.
Well, the 90s Bulls could score on you, or they could play defense. It could be either
or.
Right.
But that's my thing about the bad boys is I don't think the bad boys outside of Isaiah can keep up with them.
What about San Antonio?
San Antonio for sure. I think there's a reasonable conversation.
The Phoenix Suns with Charles Barkley. Come on.
Yeah, right. Charles Barkley. Yeah, you had who else? Dan Marley there. Who else did you have?
If you took those players, the Charles Barkleys that were marginal to better scorers, Michael Jordan, a perennial scorer, Scottie Pippen, who
even
play
Utah at the time, you had Karl Malone, John Stockton.
Let's take those guys.
Let's
take those guys and put them in today's NBA.
Right.
What would Jordan average a game? 35?
He would average
mean,
50.
No, I'm not trying to be
Easily.
sarcastic.
No, I'm serious.
No,
with
I
the
think-
defense, with the defense the way it is today, he would average probably
Right.
over 40 points. Easy.
Right.
Easy.
I think it's kind of like
because
Harden.
They play offense. They
What were you saying, Ben? Go ahead.
It's offensively dominated.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It punishes the defense.
Ladies
They
and
call more
gentlemen,
fouls today.
we're live talking about basketball during Super Bowl weekend.
That's
So
the
you
Mike
do like the
Peter
trade, right, Mike?
Yeah, it was a nice trade. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just sit there and keep Ben there. And it really comes down to it. Like I said, Ben was gone before the trade deadline even came. So really, it's Seth Curry and Andre for James and Paul, which to me, that's perfectly fine.
Okay, cool. Hey, we got a couple of more comments. I'm going to go ahead and read, see if you guys have any comments.
We got Ben on there.
Hey, Ben, I know Ben's there.
Oh, okay. My bad. I
Ben's a
didn't
permanent fixture.
Okay.
Rondé deserved to get in the Hall of Fame before his own teammate, John Lynch. I don't know about that.
Well, I think there's something that could be said against statistics, but John Lynch absolutely had a great case, one of the top
Absolutely.
safeties in his generation.
John Lynch isn't a Hall of Famer. I'm sorry. He's not a Hall of Famer.
Wow.
Really? John
Really?
Lynch is not
Hold
a
on.
Hall of
Hold on.
Famer?
Let me tell you something. This is why I love my show. Everybody's entitled to an opinion. It's just like an asshole. Everybody has one.
Sure.
Ben?
Yes.
Tell us why.
I just think compared to other safeties, his numbers are similar, but it took 16 years to do that. To what Troy Polamalu could do that with the similar numbers in like 12 years.
Okay. Well, in all fairness, and this is where I'm going to rebuttal it. Great point.
Okay.
Pittsburgh and Troy Polamalu had far better teams than the Buccaneers ever did with Rondé Barber on it, including the one that went to the Super Bowl. They had one or two really, really, really good seasons. Troy Polamalu played on how many Super Bowls? How many playoff games? How many times that's a big difference.
To
It's
be
a real
fair,
hard.
to correct you on this, John Lynch was a part of probably one of the greatest defenses of all time that nobody talks about. And the reason why they don't talk about it is because
they weren't.
they didn't. No, they were, because statistically, if you look the 10 years that the Bucs played defense with the Tony Dungy and of course a John Gruden taking over, they were consistently in the top 10, top 5 categories. Yes. The reason why they don't get talked about is because they don't win Super Bowls if they had a better offense at the time, but they are absolutely on par with the 70s Steelers if you look at their statistics. So John Lynch did play around some great players, and I think John Lynch was one of the great safeties because the majority of his interceptions were in game-clinching situations.
That's true. So how do you feel about that rebuttal, Ben?
I know. You got to do that in every quarter, not just one quarter.
Look, it's not how you start, my friend. It's how you finish, and he finished off strong. So to me, he belongs at the end of the day consistent. You know,
but I can understand where Ben's coming from.
I get it. I get it.
You know, and that's easy to see. How about you, Mike? You see it the same way, possibly, or do you understand both sides?
Yeah, as someone who played safety, I fully admire both of those guys, and Troy is an anomaly. Troy is in a class of his own for what he did in Pittsburgh, and I respect it. But you know, to not to tie it back into basketball, but you say the same thing about Jordan and LeBron. You know, like LeBron played more years than Jordan. You know what I mean? So you could say the same concept of it's like, oh well, he did it in longer. If he played as many as Jordan, how would we say it ended? You know, if they all played a certain amount of years, and I think. At the end of the day, the stats are the stats, and you did what you did, no matter how you look at it. Like, if it's there, it's there. And it really doesn't matter. Like you said, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And playing 16 years, that's in the NFL, that's pretty good. So there's not many guys that can say it, especially from a defensive perspective. You know, after high school ball, I was tired. I'm 21. I'm exhausted. So I don't know how these guys are even doing it at an NFL level, nonetheless, going into almost 40 years old.
Mike, question. You ready? LeBron or Michael?
Michael.
Mike?
You know,
LeBron
Harry,
or Michael?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. You know what year I was born.
You're the basketball guy.
You know what year I was born. I was born in 2000. So this is and I'm gonna say it. This is how I start every conversation. This is my biased conversation. Because Harry, Michael was your guy. There's a lot of guys I know that LeBron was their guy, but Kobe was always mine.
Hang on. Don't go there. Don't go there. Not yet. I said Michael or LeBron.
Are we talking about GOAT? or just Mike versus Bron?
Mike versus Bron.
I think Mike is a better basketball player. I think LeBron's a better athlete.
Okay.
That's a good point.
Okay. That's a good point.
That's a
Okay.
good
Now,
point.
now Kobe or LeBron.
Kobe Bean.
Kobe all day.
Okay.
Kobe all day, because you know why? He stayed with one organization.
Because if you like Kobe,
Kobe was
hold
a
on.
killer.
hold on. If you like Kobe over LeBron, you definitely love Michael Jordan over LeBron because Kobe emulated his game
Of
off
course.
of Michael Jordan.
And he was the closest thing to Michael Jordan.
And I
in
got
that.
I got a real stunner for you. Do you know who I have as one of the top 10 basketball players of all time? And this is nobody's going to think about. Just throw them out there. Who do you think I would say? Just one. Just pick one, Mike.
You know, I always say Shaq's in my top 3, and people
Okay,
get
great.
mad.
Ben,
Allen Iverson.
how the hell did you know that? Seriously. That is one of my
Because-
top 10 players of all time.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved Allen Iverson.
How could
as
you
a
not?
player.
165
Oh, my
pound
God.
guard
Of
that
all
could
time, too.
look, 165 pound
Ben,
guard
seriously, man.
who could take over
I ever,
games.
Hang on. Did I ever
Yes.
say that on the air before?
I don't think
Because,
you did,
You know, that
no.
is really deep, man. If you
No,
really think about it.
it's good.
Mike, I mean, you'd say that's a deep pick, wouldn't you?
I think it's definitely a solid opinion. I don't have AI as a top 3 guard, shooting guard of all time. I just personally don't. I got Kobe, Jordan, and Wade, and you could put it in any order, but I think AI is right up there. I hate people who are saying James Harden's at 4. I put AI before James
Who?
Harden any day.
That's
I hate
what I'm
it. I hate
saying.
it.
James Harden
James
couldn't hold
Harden.
the James Harden couldn't hold these 3 guys jock strap.
I don't
No,
know how many times in clinching games
I
the
will
guy has
put
shot
respect on
bricks.
D-Wade.
Wade, absolutely Wade, and
Well, this is a great
definitely-
conversation. I love
It
that
is.
from football to basketball. Mike, I'm telling you, man, I could sit here and talk hours of basketball. We have a friend that was a friend of our show and actually a friend of ours personally. The guy worked with me for a long time. His name was Pat Searcy, and the reason why I use the word was is because the guy passed away. Never married, no kids. He was savant. Michael, I'm telling you, Mike, he was a savant on football and especially basketball. His knowledge of the game, it would just blow your mind. Statistics. You could say, hey, what happened on this particular game on this particular day in this third quarter? And he'd go, oh, yeah, this happened, this happened, this happened. It was just almost ridiculous. And when I talk to you, especially with some of the comments and the rebuttals that you give, you kind of remind me of him, you know, of Pat, you know, and Pat, I
stuff.
love your brother. I haven't seen you in almost a year, but boy, he just loves sports, especially basketball.
Yeah, it's a
He
shame.
really did.
Yeah.
And, by the way, you know who his favorite basketball team was?
Who?
The Charlotte Hornets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Charlotte
not
Hornets.
Orlando, being a Tampa guy,
right.
being a St. Pete kid, you know, for his
We could
entire
see
life.
why. I mean, in their early day there
Mhm.
with Larry Johnson and Alonzo Mourning, and thinking Michael Jordan's going to take over and this is going to be a
Oh, yeah.
a better
It was
franchise.
a lot of fun.
It's one thing he couldn't. I don't think he can definitely do at this
Ben,
point.
you got any more comments, buddy?
No, man. This is a great, deep conversation, man. I appreciate the basketball talk, buddy.
Not a problem. Ben, you can call in if you want anytime. We'll talk to you soon, brother. But thanks for calling the over-under.
Take care, guys.
You take care.
Thanks a lot, Ben. Appreciate you.
That was Ben Cornett. Really good guy. Actually, really knowledgeable. Loves his football. Loves all kinds of sports. Lives out in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, we're going to go ahead and read some of these comments, okay?
All right.
They absolutely both deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. I think he was talking about Rondé Barber and Peanut Tillman, if I'm not mistaken. Christian says, how can one say Peanut deserves it more than Rondé? I love Peanut, my favorite Bears DB of all time. But one is a finalist and the other one isn't right now. That's a good point.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it comes down to Rondé. I mean, and it's his 5th year, so eventually he'll get in. I just think it's disappointing how people overlook him because he goes about himself in a professional manner. He's nothing flashy. Is he like Darrelle Revis, where he shuts down people? No, not necessarily. But he played in his system. He made plays, and then on top of it, he once again revolutionized that position of nickel corner, which wasn't around, and he was the best at it. And the statistics show that he should be in the Hall of Fame, and yet he's not getting any love these last 5 years. So it's disappointing.
Have either one of you two guys ever seen any of the old DBs play like a Jeff Fisher or a Leslie Frazier when they were with the Bears? I'm going to start with you, Mike. Did you ever see him? You looked him up on YouTube?
Yeah, no, all the time. My pops, God rest his soul, always made sure that it was eminent that I looked up every single guy. My favorite bear, I say it all the time, is Doug Plank. And it
Doug
always will
Plank.
be Doug Plank.
Wow.
Doug Plank was my favorite. Doug Atkins, Doug Plank, guys like that. Those are my favorite bears of all time. Walter's obviously one of them as well. But yeah, guys like that, man, they just deserve the respect. And to touch on the Peanut thing, like I said, Kobe was my guy growing up. That's my biased take. Peanut was also my guy growing up. I'm a corner. I'm a safety. I obviously if you play one, you play the other at some point. So I really admired Peanut in his game, especially being a white guy. I can't catch the football that well. So punching it out was something I definitely picked up, and it was something that I definitely learned and
Good stuff.
adjusted.
Well, I was a white guy. I ran a 4.39 and 40, and I used to pick on little safeties just to let you know. But I'm only teasing you, bro.
Hey, how were those hands, though? How were those hands?
No, honestly, that's one thing that was really good with me. I was just the only thing was true story. All the Florida schools down here kind of turned their nose up to me because I was only 175 pounds and 6'1". The difference was I caught everything. But I was recruited by 3 different colleges. There were 2 all-black schools, believe it or not, and we all knew why they wanted to recruit me. And
the speed. Can't teach speed, man.
No, but the one thing, and I'll never forget it, we're sitting at the kitchen table,
Mm-hmm.
and I got to kind of leave him nameless, and he's sitting at the table, and he's talking to my mom. God bless her. I love my mom, a little old Greek lady, and my father, being a former professional baseball player, sitting down, and he didn't understand why I didn't have the love for baseball. I did, Dad. Okay. I know you want to question that. I did have a love for baseball, and I love the game of baseball. I just wasn't as good at it. Okay.
That's it.
I mean, I just wasn't as good at it.
You realize
But
that
I'll
you're
never
a man
forget
that
it.
realizes
The
your
head coach of
strengths and weaknesses.
the head coach of this particular college looked at my father, and my father's like, "It's $175, man. You're gonna get him like 180, 185." And he goes, "Oh, Mr. Berg, don't worry about that. We have a way of putting weight on him." And my father looked at him and went, "Yeah, no, he's not going here."
Oh, well, I mean,
Okay. And we all know, sitting in this room
Mhm.
together, what they were talking about.
Sure.
And you want to know the truth? I didn't know what he was talking about. All I used to do, this was my daily regimen of workout. I never worked out with heavy weights. It was always very light weights, lots of repetitions. And God rest his soul, Coach Wilbur Lofton used to make me run suicides in the gymnasium every single day, and then run 40s all day long. And
Right.
I'll tell you what, he wore my ass out, but he did it for a reason. You want to really laugh? We're going to go off the real stretch of it. Funny. I tried out for the soccer team because I always loved soccer. Here comes my coach from football, Coach Lofton. Big old redneck right here. Okay. Got himself a ice cold beer in one hand, but it was in a cup. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And smoking a big fat stogie. Okay. He's looking out there, and I'll never forget it. The chewing tobacco and the stogie, and he's screaming at the top of his lung, "Hey, Bird! Hey, 3! Get your ass off of here." He grabs me by my jersey, slams me over to the lockers, and he goes, "The hell are you playing this communist sport for? You are never to play this sport again." And I went, "Yeah, coach, no problem, coach. Absolutely, coach. It'll never happen again." Communist sport. The difference between then and now. First off, Mike, how do you think that would have happened in today's day? That if a teacher was to pull you by your jersey and sling you?
We had them. I had them in Chicago.
But you know what I'm talking about.
No, yeah, for sure. We call them commie dogs though, but it's a little different. But it's the same situation though. It's my thing was baseball. My thing was, I love basketball. I love talking basketball, but I was really good at baseball. I played football, and I would always, I'd always do the volleyball stuff. Same thing, Harry. I'd be like, you know what? I'm going to try out for volleyball. I want to be cool. I want to be like those guys. And then my coach came into the room because he was walking by in the gymnasium. And
how'd that work out for you?
Not great, because he saw the shorts that volleyball players have to wear. And he was like, "I'll never have the captain of my defense wearing shorts that are all the way up to his butt." You know what I mean? And I was just like,
so just out of curiosity,
he had the Larry Bird shorts.
And I got to go full screen on you. How many laps around the football field did you have to do?
A lot. And I also had to wear those shorts to a couple of practices, and just to, if you're comfortable doing it in there, you're comfortable doing it on the field. And I had to take a lot of crap for a little bit.
You know what my punishment was? You want to know what my punishment was? I had to dig up a quarter of the end zone with a pick and plant new grass. Me, nobody else. That was my punishment for playing
mine was
a
in middle
communist
school.
sport.
Mine was in middle school.
Not me, man.
Ben
Not
Needich.
me.
Ben Needich.
Mine was
my
a junior in
coach.
high school, and he's like, "All right,
greatest-
Berg,
greatest coach.
here, go to my cooler and go fill up my cup, and over there in the shed, go get the hoe and the pick, and you're gonna start digging." Really, coach? You want to play? Yes, coach. It's as simple as that. It was yes or no, sir. There was no back talk.
Oh,
Are
no.
you kidding me?
They can't listen. I encountered this today. I want to put my nephew on blast, but he's 17 years old, and I was giving him a lecture on, how he should get out and get a job. He wants money. He wants to do this and do that. And he said, "Hey, uncle, I'm doing me." I'm like, "Yeah, you doing you all right. You better do your ass and get yourself a job." 17 years old. Kids are talking like that to me, man. Come on. So yeah, I mean, I would never think about
I love all sports, bro. I
would
really
never,
did.
ever
I just
think
wish
about
I just wish
talking.
they would have let me try out for soccer because I really like the game.
Yeah.
All right, Mike. Let's get back to some of the comments here. Facebook user says, "Stop frustrating Peter." Brent Cornett says, "Keep up the attitude, Peter. Rosie and Pamela Anderson will cut you off."
Oh, geez.
Facebook user, "Who do y'all think the Buccaneers take in the first round?" I don't know. Let's ask Mike this. Who do you think the Buccaneers are going to take in the first round, or do you care?
The picks that they have, it really doesn't matter. I'd rock with Kyle Trask, if anything, or Jameis Winston in free agency. I wouldn't take a quarterback. Maybe a tight end, maybe a wide receiver. You're definitely, the quarterbacks they have right now, and I hate it because every single person, whether it's ESPN or 670 or FS1, is saying every single one of these quarterbacks isn't good enough. Watch one of them end up being the greatest of all time, and we're all just going to sit there quietly. But, in all seriousness, like if their picks are anywhere from 20 to 32, like those quarterbacks, the ones that are there aren't going to be. And it's
they're yeah.
I still think in Tampa, honestly, I think their bridge quarterback for Kyle Trask is
Blaine Gabbert.
I really do. He's been in the system for so many years. I think he's very serviceable, and I think the team can keep going. We don't want.
I don't think they're going. Well, I don't think they're going to draft a quarterback at 27 first and foremost. Probably going to go for a pass rusher. Possibly a wide receiver out of Penn State, and Jahan Dotson. That would be a guy that they may look at depending on where they're going to go in free agency. And there's a lot to remains to be seen at this point because, again, with Tom Brady's comments, leaving the door open, who knows? He may reconsider. He may come out of retirement. How does that situation work out cap-wise? Will they go big game quarterback hunting? I think they may.
They could be.
I think they may.
Are. Roger Shoe says, "I'm bringing baklava and ouzo to your house for Super Bowl."
Great.
Bring it down, buddy. Peter has no idea what it is, but it's really good.
No idea.
Facebook user says, "Great to see you guys tonight."
That was Tony Williams.
Tony Williams. Hi, Tony. Thanks for tuning in. Roger says, "Peter, don't make it rain. He makes it drizzle."
Oh, jeez.
Facebook user Cam Akers is a stud also, without question. And I don't
Tom
think
Banner, by the way.
I don't think they're going to have a problem putting the ball in the carpet this week. Troy Polamalu says, "Peter said he wants to go big to big knockers."
Wow.
Christopher Cole says, "Let's go. I'm a chick magnet."
That's Chris Cole right there. I love Chris Cole. I love
Chris
fans like Chris.
Awesome.
He always tunes in.
Christian says, "Harry, what did you get Peter for Valentine's Day?"
Yeah, what'd you get? Nothing, right? Don't you dare.
Roger Shoe says, "I got the Midas touch." Andrew Faubert.
No touch.
Andrew, my brother, thank you so much for tuning in from north of the border.
What's up?
Kyle Nichols says, "Evening, gents. How are you doing tonight?"
Doing
Andrew
great.
Faubert says, "Jesse Bates, Super Bowl MVP, plus 30,000. You don't understand, man. I would put $100 on that. You know why? Because sometimes it's just someone that's going to be obscure.
Well, this goes back to the safety conversation from the Bucs and the Raiders. Dexter Jackson, nobody thought he was going to be the MVP. Everybody was saying Sapp, Rice, Derek Brooks. Guess what? It was Dexter Jackson.
Yep.
So
Roger Shoe said, "Peter's allergic to the funk." Oh, the funk. We got to play.
I'm not allergic to anything.
Kyle Nicole says, "Joe Burrow should have been MVP." I can agree with that. I can also agree that Matt Stafford should have been MVP. That's just my opinion. Troy Polamalu says Bulls need to sign LaMelo. Mike, I'll let you have this one.
Is he talking about LiAngelo Ball? Because LaMelo's on a contract for like the next 4 years, but
He's talking about LaMelo.
You don't understand. He's the tribal troll.
No,
hold on.
He's not the
Troy,
tribal troll. That's Roger. He's just a troll.
Hold on. Troy Polamalu, I want you to meet. Here, let me show you his face. This is Mike on the mic.
Oh, I met him. He was on my show last week.
Oh, good. You just make sure you just stick around with him a little bit. He loves the fans.
He loves them.
Rodgers Shoe says, turn up the funk. Kyle Nicole says, right now, the NFL MVP is who had the best stats of the year and who's not the biggest impact as a player.
Right now, the NFL MVP is the best stats of the year and not who has the biggest impact of a player. Well, I think it's both ways, right? But for me, how can you rule out Tom Brady, who's 44 years old and has 43 touchdowns and all the injuries that this Bucs offense had, and he's not the MVP at this point? Aaron Rodgers, come on, man. Tom Brady is the MVP of the Bucs. Tom Brady's the MVP of the league.
Whoever Tatiana is.
Yes. Hi, Tatiana.
Hi, Tatiana. Say hi, Mike. There you go. Roger Shoe says, I'm going Bungles. Okay. Roger Shoe says, who should go in first, Hester or Barber? I say Hester. I don't know about that. You know what?
Have an interview.
I got something very interesting.
Yeah.
Last year, as we were talking before we got the phone call.
Yeah. No phone calls right now, by the way.
What's his name?
Ben called in.
What's his name? Ortiz. Big Papi.
Big Papi, yes.
They had a charity event down here in Tampa. It was about a year ago, just before the Super Bowl. And there were a lot of athletes there. And, Peter Blake and Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy were at this place, and they got some interviews.
Yeah.
And this particular interview was with Mr. Devin Hester, and they asked him a couple of questions. So I'm going to go ahead and play this. It's a little hard to hear sometimes. It's a little loquacious in the beginning, but the money is at the end. You guys ready?
And all eyes are on Tampa tomorrow. The Kansas City Chiefs are taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. First and foremost, what do you think about that matchup?
I want Tampa to win because I'm from Florida, but if I had to bet, I would go with the Chiefs, man. I think the Chiefs' offense is just too explosive, man. They do have a decent defense, where Tampa has a better defense, but I think at the end of the day, it's going to be a scoring game, and I think Kansas City going to come out with the most points.
Take me back to your favorite Super Bowl memory when you returned the kick. Talk about that moment and how you were feeling before the game.
A lot of jitters. I was my rookie year, playing at home, and a crowd that I grew up playing high school ball in. So, I was nervous, know what I mean? And I knew that the talk all week was whether or not they were going to kick it to me. And if they did, it was only one opportunity I was going to get. So I just wanted to make the best of it.
Do you belong in the Hall of Fame for your kick returning abilities?
Should I ask you that question?
Look, I already know it. Just sell them on it. Tell them.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. I don't think it's a question about that situation. You know what I mean? And when I look at my situation, if you made the top 100, you got to make the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
Everybody in the top 100 made the Hall of Fame. So, to me, the top 100 is bigger than the Hall of Fame. So, if I don't make the Hall of Fame, then this is just a slap in the face for me.
Now, I know you're a former Miami Hurricane. They always say, is the U back? Is the U going to finally get back here in the next couple of years? How do you feel about that program getting back to prominence?
I think I've been seeing a big improvement with the program because of so many guys that's juniors. It's coming back. That you haven't seen that in a while. And when you see like the star players that's juniors that has the opportunity to go out, to come out, announcing that they're coming back, that's a big step.
Really quick, talk about the wide receivers on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Antonio Brown. What are your feelings on all those players?
I know they got a big task to fill, because they're looking at the Kansas City wide receiver. And at the end of the day, when you have two explosive offense, two explosive receivers on both sides of the field, you want to be that guy that outdo the other guy on the other side of the field. So I know they're coming in this week, and it's going to be a battle.
All right, thanks a lot for the time. Appreciate you, Devin.
Thank you.
That was a pretty cool interview, and that was done before the Super Bowl. But the money question was, do you belong in the Hall of Fame? Almost got offended. Peter, you backed out of it saying, I already know what it should be. We just want to know what you think.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I step back up to him.
So I don't know how you guys feel about that. But I agree with him. He should be in the Hall of Fame. But that's not a fair question. Who should be in there first? Him or Rondé Barber? Two totally different players.
Yes. Two different positions.
Even though Hester was drafted as a DB.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he wasn't a very good DB.
Right.
Then they made him a wide receiver. Wasn't a really good wide receiver.
At all.
But he was the best kick and punt returner this game has ever seen.
Yep.
That goes from Gale Sayers in primetime himself.
Yep.
When Deion Sanders says that the best of all time at that position is Devin Hester, put his ass in the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
You have to.
I think he'll eventually get in.
Number one, Deion Sanders is the best DB ever played this game.
Sure.
Ever to suit up. Primetime is the man. End the conversation.
Right. I think, you really look at it, though. The key point is your top 100 of all time. And to be top 100 of all time and not in the Hall of Fame doesn't make sense to me at all. And this is where the conversation gets a little different. I feel the same way about Derrick Rose, because if you are MVP, you were the greatest player in the world. You were the greatest player in the world, and you won that award. So for me,
whether you're the youngest to ever win it.
Exactly. And that's John Morant's creeping on that door. But it comes down to it at the end of the day to where, top 100 of all time and any MVP, I truly believe, I don't care what the rest of your stats were, you were the greatest player in the world that year. And I think that's you. There's no shot. In the NBA, not one MVP has not been in the Hall of Fame. And the same way with the NFL. Not one has missed it. And Derrick Rose would be the first one, and Devin Hester would be the first one out of the 100 of all time to probably not make it.
Wow.
Good stuff.
But
cool. Great stuff.
Mike, I'm going to let you promote yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Mike Hughes from Mike on the Mic. But Mike, tell everybody where they can find you, little brother.
Oh, yeah, you can. I mean, hey, if you're lazy, you can find me on my own podcast, on Mike on the Mic. You can find it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. You could be lazy and do it that way. Or you could check me out on 1252 Sports Entertainment and see my face, have a conversation. Me and Troy go at it all the time. Troy's my good friend now. I love everything about Troy. You can find me on Saturdays at 7 Central. Tomorrow, I'm interviewing actually a good friend of mine. We've been friends for years. And it's crazy how it all turned out. But top prospect of the Chicago Cubs, Brennan Davis, will be on the show. We have a great show for you tomorrow about that. We're going to be talking about the trade deadline, the Robin Lopez things with the Chicago Bulls, and just Anthony Rizzo potentially coming back to the Chicago Cubs. We talk about the White Sox. They just instilled the rule, if you are not vaccinated, and I don't like talking politics, but if you are not vaccinated, the Chicago White Sox will not allow you to play for them going into the 2022 season. We're going to be talking Chicago Sky. Courtney Vandersloot is back. Thank God. Can't wait to check that out. So definitely tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Central. Harry, correct me if I'm wrong. That's 8 p.m. Eastern. If I'm right, I rock
My
with you,
boy
man.
went to college.
Yes, he's killing it. Mike, you're killing it, man.
Mike, let me tell you something.
Great talk, my friend.
You make my show smarter.
I appreciate you, Harry.
No, I mean that sincerely. And both Peter and I, we're going to assist you just a smidge, and we're going to get you and show you how to be able to take phone calls live, because I'm going to tell you what, the people should need a chance to be able to interact, because, bro, you got to not only hear, but you have it up here, bro.
Yep.
You're all that, and you're all that in a bag of chips. Mike, thank you so much for coming.
Look at you whispering sweet nothings in this man's ear before Valentine's Day.
Like my little brother. Don't make me slap the piss and brakes off
Stop.
you.
Be quiet. You don't want to.
Just say, Mike. I just beat the brakes off.
Will you be quiet and shut up? Beat the brakes off yourself.
Stop it, Mike. Have a good one, brother. Deuces.
You too, man.
Take
Peter,
care
it was
of
nice
yourself.
meeting you, man.
Good meeting you too, buddy. Great
Love
job.
this guy.
See you.
Got to have him on the show more.
Yeah,
often, seriously.
absolutely. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with everything he says, but I tell you right now, he's got facts to back it up. He knows what he's talking about. So,
Rodgers Shoe says, Peter, I didn't know you knew anything about basketball.
why do you not think I know anything about basketball? Because I don't have anybody that talks basketball on my show. You guys always want to talk about football. I talk about anything you want to talk about.
Rodgers Shoe says the Bulls, and Rodman was a beast for the Bulls. Rodgers Shoe
Absolutely.
says Lambeer. Roger Shoe says Scotty was a guy. My man, Mr.
I think you
Andrew
said
Faubert.
God. I think you said God, not a guy.
That's okay. I'm with this Mike Gent here. Golden State is a real shooting team. I like Golden State against almost any all-time team. I don't know. God.
If you can guard them and you can if you can have that physicality that the bad boys and that teams in the 90s had, I don't think you're shooting threes.
Our previous owner of a platform that we were on from before.
Yes.
Okay. And occasionally he does watch and he does pick up the show. He is extremely opinionated, and his knowledge of basketball is off the charts.
Right.
Keith, you know exactly who I'm talking about. He absolutely shows exact points on why the Chicago Bulls and or some of the Philadelphia 76ers and or the Utah Jazz teams not only could have kept up, but would have beat the brakes off these Golden State teams.
They would have.
I mean, we had a very, very long conversation, especially about Michael Jordan. I mean, you'll never convince
Keith knows
him.
his stuff.
Yeah, Keith
I'll
does
give it
know
to him.
his
Happy
stuff about
birthday,
that.
by the way, buddy.
Yeah, happy birthday. Andrew Faubert says only because Draymond would be able to throw down, and Durant too. I don't know about that. I think their legs would be gone from underneath them. Soccer sucks from Rodgers' shoe. Facebook users, I'm coming to your Super Bowl party as well.
That's Sean McKibben.
My boy, Sean.
Sean, how about that?
Sean, I love Sean. You guys want good tires and service? Make sure you go out. If you can't get to my store in Tyrone Mall, go to the Tires Plus in Oldsmar, right off of Tampa Road. Go in there and you tell him that Harry Berg sent you, and he's going to give you 50% off of your entire visit.
So if you don't give me the tires that I want, I can just go to him.
Oh, you just go to Sean. He's right around the corner from you.
Right around the corner from
You
me.
just say, I know Harry the Greek.
That's it.
That's
I know
it.
Harry. That's it. He's my buddy.
And then I can see Sean right now. He's getting ready to text my phone. I'm going to kill you.
I kill you.
Free oil changes for everybody.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Happy Valentine's Day.
Roger Shoe says, trash Palomalu.
Really?
Oh,
Trash?
Roger Shoe says, Peter, respect your elders.
I don't respect you. Shut up, Roger.
Oh, God almighty sakes. That was pretty good.
It was. Are you playing the funk again? Are we about to wrap this up? We got what? It's 10:19.
No, bro, we are wrapping it up. So we're going to talk about a few things here. We're going to go through some of these
proposition bets. Yeah.
Joe Burrow, his distance on his first touchdown pass, over or under 12.5 yards. Peter.
I go with the under.
Under?
Yeah.
Okay. You know what?
You have to
if
go
you
with
went
the
with the
under,
under, you're barely getting even money. But this is an interesting one. Joe Burrow's first pass will be either A, a completion, or B, an incomplete and or an interception. And let me tell you what you have to lay here. If you bet that Joe Burrow's first pass is completed, you have to lay 3-1 on your money. Meaning, in order to win 100, you have to lay $300. But if you say his first pass will either be incomplete or an interception, they're going to give you 2-1 on your money.
Wow.
I know what side I like.
Oh, yeah.
I know what side I like.
You like the incomplete, which is certainly possible.
Joe Burrow, what will he throw first, a touchdown pass or an interception? If he throws a touchdown pass, it's minus 300. If he throws an interception, it's plus 200. Stay away from that one. Joe Burrow will throw a fourth quarter touchdown pass, yes or no? Matthew Stafford, distance of his first touchdown pass, over or under 12.5 yards. You ready for this?
Uh-huh.
They're both even money.
Wow.
Matthew Stafford's first pass will be complete, minus 300. Incomplete or an interception, exactly the same as Joe Burrow, plus 200.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Donald, total sacks, over or under a half a sack?
Over. All day long. That's an easy bet.
Hold on. It's minus 200, so you have to lay 2-1 on your money.
Wow.
Trust me when I tell you, lay the 2-1 on your money.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Lay the 2-1. I mean, to me, that's an easy bet.
Aaron Donald, total tackles and assists, over 4.5. Over is minus 120. Under is minus 110.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say it'll be over 4.5.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna have 4 sacks in the game.
Nice.
I'm not talking about just tackles.
I mean, I certainly think it's possible Von Miller to get in there too.
All right, let's see some of these other ones. Cam Akers, longest reception is 10.5 yards, over minus 1.25 or under 10.5 or minus 105. I have no opinion. Longest rush from the line of scrimmage.
I'm reading the comment on there. That's funny. Somebody already asked him.
Over 13 and a half yards on his longest rush from the line of scrimmage for Cam Akers.
First rush?
No, his longest rush of the game.
Oh, that's easy.
You like over?
I like the over.
You do?
Yeah, don't you?
You know what? That's not bad. You only have to lay 125 to 100. That's not bad at all.
Okay.
I kind of like that. Longest rush from scrimmage, 13 and a half yards. Cam Akers, that was 13 and a half, not 12 and a half. I'm sorry.
Teasing me like that.
Longest receiving yards from Cam Akers. Rushing and receiving combined is 83 and a half yards. I don't think he's going to have a big game. I kind of like the under here.
You like the under on that?
I kind of like the under here.
I don't think Cincinnati can stop the run.
I understand that, but I don't think they can stop the pass very well.
Right. Well, it can work both ways. I don't know. That's tricky. How does Cincinnati do against running backs in the backfield? Not good, right?
You know what? Let me tell you something. Cincinnati sneakily became a really good defense, but they're not going to do it.
Yeah, but combined rushing and passing 83 yards?
Cam Akers, over or under 16 and a half rushing attempts.
Whoa.
Stay away from it?
Yeah, I don't know. Because the Rams, they're kind of like the Bucs offense. They
over
like
or under 63 and a half rushing yards?
I think over.
Okay.
You?
Total targets for Cam Akers, 3.5. Passing. Not completed passes.
Yeah.
How many targets?
Targets? Damn, I don't know.
They all look good.
Yeah. These are good bets, man. I'm looking at it right now. It's like, wow.
I'm going to go
some
ahead.
of this is easy money.
I am absolutely going to go ahead and finish this up.
Mm-hmm.
You know when? Sunday morning with Jacob Charnow. I'm going to go ahead and do that.
I may have to jump on with you.
You can come in. We're going to have a lot more prop bets because you know why? I love them as they get a little closer to the time.
I'm going to try to get up. I'm going to try to get up at 9 o'clock.
He's got a great show.
He does.
Right here on 1252 Sports.
Love it. I love Jacob.
We have a couple of more comments. Stephen Glasker says, bring the funk. We are, Stephen. Facebook user. Harry, do you have a deal on 235-55-19s? Actually, I do. Go ahead and hit the direct message. But if you're closer to Sean's, it's 50% off. Trust me, he's great. Andrew Faubert, another great show, guys. No, it's not Andrew. I don't know who that was.
Oh, that's David.
Oh, David. Thank you so much.
Moser. I love that guy.
Rodgers Shoe says, think I heard the funk coming out of Pete's Mustang.
Well, my Mustang is running very, very well. Very well right now.
It's not vibrating anymore, is it?
No, it's not. You know why?
No, why?
This guy.
You know a guy?
Good buddy. Yeah, I know a guy. I got a guy.
Did he balance your tires?
He did.
That must have been Sean.
No, it wasn't.
It had to be Sean at the
Oldsmar
Tires.
It was my great buddy, Harry the Greek.
Oh, thank you.
Professional handicapper extraordinaire of 1252 Sports.
I don't know nothing about handicapping, but I know a lot about cars.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Anybody who tries to take on this guy with professional handicapping, forget it.
Stop.
Just an invitation at this point.
You're making me blush.
I'm serious.
Peter, tell everybody where they can find you, brother.
All right, man. It's the evolution of Sports Talk Television Monday and Wednesday nights on I Love St. Pete, The Hub. And, of course, like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube. 3 things, guys. You know it. You love it. You got to have it. Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter. What time is it? It's my time, and it's your time. Have a great night.
David, I'm out here by Brooksville. Is there a Tires Plus out there? Yes, you also have a Firestone Complete Auto Care out there. But honestly, you're a little closer to Oldsmar. You're about 35, 40 minutes away. Just go ahead and take the Crosstown or the Veterans. I think it's the Veterans.
It's about an hour away, depending on how fast you drive.
Just take the Veterans.
Yeah.
Actually, call the Oldsmar Tires Plus. Ask for Sean. He will take very good care of you. Just tell him you're a follower of the show.
That's it.
But if you want to come down a little further, I'm down by the Tyrone Mall in the beautiful St. Pete. And for all our Chicago fans out there, it's going to be 74 degrees tomorrow. Just saying.
It's so beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
I think next week, I think we might do a show out by the pool.
Why not? Let's do it.
How about inside the pool? You doing inside the pool?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
could do
why
it. We
not?
could pull
We
it
can do
out. We
that.
could do that.
I really
We could
don't think
absolutely
people
pull
would
that
mind
off.
that.
Absolutely. Sure.
Oh, Lord, what a day.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say anymore, guys. I do appreciate everybody tuning into the Over-Under this evening. Special thanks to all the phone calls that we've had in here, to people that went ahead and tuned in, the people that went ahead and left the comments. But do me a favor. Before I sign off tonight, hit the like button. Share the show. Put it on your timeline as well as one of your friends. Because you know what? This is how we do this to grow organically. My bet of the week, my bet of the year. Bet the Rams -4. I absolutely love it. I'm your host, Harry the Greek. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next Friday, but we'll actually see you this Sunday on Jacob Charnow's show.
Hard Count Football Podcast at 9 o'clock live on 1252 Chicago Sports.
Take care, everybody. Have a good night.